all we do is win, 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 no matter what. Welcome to the CV Sports Talk Show. We're your hosts, Carlos Vernon, the one and only. Hope everybody having a safe and blessed day today. We are live here from Cleveland, Ohio. I got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk just some Browns training camp, and we're going to talk about the Browns offense. We're going to see if their offense is going to improve. I'm going to give you some numbers on their offense. Today we're going to talk about the Cavs GM, the new GM, Koby Altman. Is he really going to be the GM? Or is Dan Gilbert gonna hold all the keys to the car? Now let's get into some Cleveland Browns talk. I just hope everybody having a safe day once again. Now the Browns. Now we all know the Browns doesn't win a lot. But we all is winners in life no matter what you do. But what I want to get into is the Cleveland Browns offense going to improve this year? That's what I want to know. And my honest opinion, I think yes. Because last season, the offense was injury prone. There was a lot of wheeling and dealing last season, as you can see. But I think they got some great pickups this offseason. Offensive linemen, JT Twitter and Kevin Zingler. I think they both is big-time offensive linemen that's going to help this line. And let's go back to what I was saying last season. Last season, they had a lot of injuries. As you can see, they went through 5 quarterbacks. 4 of them was hurt. From Robert Griffin to Josh McCown to Cody Kessler to Charlie Whitehurst. You had Kevin Hogan in last season. So that's a big problem when you can't have stability at the most important position at quarterback. So, and you can look at their wide receiving core. Corey Coleman went down. Josh Gordon suspended. A couple other rookies went down. I mean, they was very inexperienced and unproven, even with the breakout season with Terrell Pryor. And Gary Barnes was a great, fit to this team. But he's old, and you can't count on him in the future. So I understand what the move of drafting the tight end David Njokovic from the University of Miami. So I think offensively the Browns will be improved with this retooling of the offensive line. You got Joe Thomas, you got Joe Batonio, who's coming back from injury, who got a big contract extension. Then you got Trader or Center Trader. Then you got Zingler, and you got Cam Irvin or Greco or Sean Coleman, whichever one start at the right tackle. That's going to be the mystery. But overall, I think this team going to be much improved. You're going to see a lot of improvement with Isaiah Crowell. This is contract year for him, and I'm expecting him to at least have 12 to 1,300 yards if this offensive line can stay healthy. Because he's a north and south runner. He's a ground and pound runner. He just reminds me of that Ricky Williams where he just give me the ball in the fourth quarter where he just wear you down in the first 3 quarters. And in the fourth quarter, he just take over. And I hope Hugh Jackson stick to that this season because if you look at him last season, he didn't stick to the run game. But you got to figure he was always down, so he really couldn't run the football. And with this offensive line being better, I expect them to control the game and control the chains and keep this defense off the field less than it was last season. So that's what I'm expecting from this offense. And you're going to see a big-time change with Duke Johnson in the slot. Duke Johnson is a great athlete, period, overall. He can run the ball and he can catch the ball. So you have to use him in the offense. He's a weapon. He's a lethal weapon. And you got Kenny Bricks. He might not be the fastest. He might not be the most entertaining and the most athletic, but he's going to get the job done. He got that veteran leadership. And David and the tight end from Miami, David Njoku, he's gonna. They say he's very athletic. He's having a bad camp, but I think once he let the game slow down to him and learn the game, he's gonna be a great athlete. And the Browns is gonna improve. I expect the Browns to be middle of the pack this season. Let's take a look at last year's stats and see what there was last year. Last year, they offensive stats, passing wise, they passed for 3,264 yards. Tom Brady passed for more yards than the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns went through 5 quarterbacks. Altogether, they had 15 touchdowns. Tom Brady had 28. 14 interceptions. Tom Brady had 2. They were sacked 66 times. Tom Brady was only sacked 11 times last season. Rushing yards as a team, they actually was second in yards per carry. But their total rushing yards was 1,712 yards. They was second in the league with 4.9 yards per carry. And they had 13 touchdowns. That's not bad. With a banged up offensive line, that just tells you once you give Isaiah Crowell a good offensive line, he can put up big numbers. He put up over 900 yards, and he wasn't even getting the carries that he should have been getting. Receiving wise, they had 3,693 yards with 15 touchdowns. But on third down conversions, when you have to keep the chains moving and keep your young defense off the field, they was 36%. That is horrible. That's bottom of the order in the league, and that's key in football because the game is won in the trenches, meaning it's won up front, offense and defense, and you have to move the chains at the offense, and defense, you have to get your defense off the field. And I think with a better offensive line, you're going to see them on the field more, and they're going to convert more third downs, which is going to keep this defense rested. Now here are some stats of the leaders from last year. Passing wise, we know it was Cody Kessler. He had 1,380 yards, he had 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He was sacked 21 times. He had a QBR quarterback rating of 92.3, and he averaged 137.8 passing yards per game. That's not good. You was not going to get the job done with that. Even though he was injured and he had some concussions, you was not going to get the job done with him being sacked 21 times, having to run around like a chicken with his head cut off. So you have to protect Cody Kessler, which I think that he is. You got to give him the opportunity. He worked on his arm strength. He's going to be much better and must improve. I think he got to get the opportunity, and we got to see what he made of in the full season. Isaiah Crowell was our leading rusher. He had 952 yards. 4.8 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. He got to protect the ball more. Isaiah Crowell is a great back, but he has some weaknesses, and they glamour weaknesses, and they important weaknesses. He have to hold on to the ball better. He have to pass block better, and he have to catch the ball better. And I think with him going into this offseason, and this is contract year, I definitely think he's gonna make that adjustment. And he averaged 59.5 yards per game. You got to be more than that. And he is with this great offensive line. And, of course, Terrell Pryor, who signed with the Washington Redskins this offseason, he had 1,007 yards, 62.9 yards per game, and 4 touchdowns. That's going to be a big loss because he was a big target, and he was a key player to this offense. He was this offense. I mean, they're going to miss him. And there's going to be a lot of ups and downs in that receiving core, but I expect great development in that receiving core led by Kenny Bricks. I think he's going to get these guys going. And like I said, I think the Browns is going to be middle of the pack in offensive wise. We're going to get to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now let's get to some Cavaliers. Koby Altman, the new GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, If you look at his resume, he was an inside hire. I definitely like that from Dan Gilbert, because if you can't find nobody outside, you always supposed to just hire inside, so that way you won't have to make up that much ground, because he know this organization, he know the ins and outs, he know the players. He was David Griffin's assistant, so I don't think it was a bad move by Dan Gilbert. But the key is Dan Gilbert gonna let him be the GM? Let him make the final decisions being a rookie? That's just like me. That's just like a newborn baby. My daughter, she's 1 year old. When they first come out, you don't trust the newborn baby. And as they grow, even when they crawl and they start walking at 1, you still doesn't trust that baby, because you turn around, you go to sleep for 5 or 10 minutes, he into something, and you always telling them to get out of stuff, and your house messed up, or they into something. So that's how it is with a rookie GM. But my question is, since he is an in-house thing and he knows the in and outs, he's an in-house hire and he knows the in and outs, is Dan Gilbert going to give him the full trust that I think he needs to become the GM that he have to become? Or is he going to treat him like a newborn baby him and diaper him, but at the same time make decisions? I think that's going to mess this organization up. I'm hoping Dan Gilbert give him the true keys to this car, and let's drive this car, and help him make decisions within the front office. Dan Gilbert, you stay out of this, Dan Gilbert. You be the owner. Owner's own, coach's coach, GM runs the team. Let Koby Altman run this team. He's been in this organization for 6 years. He's got a vision. Just trust him, Dan Gilbert. If you can hear me, just trust him. Please. We need that in order for this front office to be better than they was with David Griffin. David Griffin set this organization up for success. Let's continue it. And let's trust in Koby Altman. Dan Gilbert, I know you the type of owner who a businessman who all about money. So I know really, even with the press conference, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't believe it. I don't believe you're going to give him full authority of this team. I don't want you to mess up this organization. Players already requesting a trade. So I'm just hoping, Dan Gilbert, if you're listening to me now, please, Dan Gilbert, please, stay out of this and let Koby Altman be the GM. Please. Please, please, please. If you hear me, Dan Gilbert. So, that's going to wrap this show up for today. We're going to get into some more of this tomorrow. We're going to talk about training camp. And we're also going to get into some more Indians. Hope they having a 4-game series. So let's hope that they can win 3 out of 4 of these. And let's go Tribe. Let's gain some ground on the Kansas City Royals. So that'll wrap this up. Hope everybody having a safe and blessed day. And remember, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, or no matter what you're going through, always trust and believe in Jesus Christ. God bless everybody, and y'all have a blessed and safe night. Thank you for tuning in to the CV Sports Talk Show. Goodbye.